this is a cow back with another how to draw Megatron tutorial. Today's focus is going to be on the torso. Start off with the front view of the torso. I'm not going to draw the head this week. I'll just kind of do the dimensions on it. Don't want to spend any extra time on it. Average person's about 2 heads wide. Let's go a little further for Megatron. Just a little further. Now about 2 heads down for him. Let's measure the neck as well. And this bottom part, I believe, is just about the same length as this, but a little bit shorter. So we're gonna see there. Let's just take it down a little bit. Got another line going. This kind of works because usually people are going to tell you you'll learn to draw people in terms of figures, shapes. Well, Transformers are shapes, so that makes that a little bit easier. Let's take about half of his face in and do a line down from here to get the measurement for his hip. And for the waist, slightly less than this, or about the same as this actually. Have it semicircle out a little bit. And lastly, there's going to be the gun on his back. It's actually a pretty... Let me make his head a bit bigger. The gun is going to be on his right hand side, over his right shoulder. It's not right in the middle. When I was a kid, I thought the gun was right in the middle of his back. It's actually not. So the gun is going to go over his head, but not about half a head over his head. So it's not towering over him, it's just slightly taller than he is. And the gun's barrel, or whatever you call that part of the gun, is relatively wide. It's not as wide. It's not all the way to the corner, but it's close. Now we're done with that. We can start adding a few details to it. Let's make a line about a neck length down from here. Because from the front of his chest view, of his chest, you'll see there's a slight angle. And this continues in a little bit. You've got another line on both sides of his head. It's almost like he's got a collar, which of course he doesn't. You got this one going angled, and then it comes straight down. So you got a bit of a rectangle at the end of this. But on both sides of his neck, you're going to do a sideways, well, it's a sideways trapezoid, actually. Trapezoid is that length. I need to bring his collar down. We'll call it a collar down a little bit, because you want the collar to be parallel with the corners of the trapezoid, or just flush would be more appropriate, I guess, here. Well, not more appropriate, but I think more accurate. You want it to be flush with the corners. Next thing, from the corners of both these trapezoids, bring a narrow line down. That's going to be another measuring point we're going to use later on for his waist and for the vents on him. So now, the distance we've got here, we want to cut off a little bit here. Let's say, make it not quite flush with the line down here, but a little bit to the side. We have a line going over here. Whatever distance we have here, measure it off, flush with... Actually, that's about right. Let me make it a little wider. He's got 3 vents on his front side. Make a line across down here so you can see that this doesn't go, you don't have high vents on this side and low ones on this side. You want them to be about the same. We'll do one on the corner, one in the corner, Find the middle area, do one in the middle. Then you can erase these guidelines. Same thing here, a vent on this side, a vent on that side, and find the middle area, you do the vent there. Now of course in the center we're going to have his Decepticon sign. This is his center line. The Decepticon sign is not going to go all the way out here. So let's cut this in half. And cut that in half. Now I've already got the outline of our Decepticon sign. You know it's going to fit into this square zone. Let's take a little bit off the top because the Decepticon sign does not touch his collar. So from about a quarter of the way down in the Decepticon sign, let's make an angle that goes to the center. Angle on this side that goes to the center. Connect all of that. Make one sharp point up here, one sharp point over there. And now in the center, he's got 3 prongs on the Decepticon sign. Bring it down. Well, you know, I guess you probably know how to draw a Decepticon sign. Just this is mostly for placement of it. Decepticon sign's not hard to draw. But over the years I've just developed some fast ways to do it and slow ways to do it. Let me finish with this though. If I remember, I'll try to do some fast and slow Decepticon signs at the end of this. Alright, that takes care of his chest. We can erase the lines later. This is his torso, his waist. We're going to cut the bottom quarter. And from this bottom quarter cut, we cut these vertical ones in half. Now we know that we're going to connect this spot with this spot. We've got an incline on both sides of his body. Now we just outline this incline. Not to here, about to halfway. This line we're going to use, that line we're going to use. Find the halfway point, make a solid line there. Find the halfway point of both of those. Basically, you just go crazy doing lines down here. Most times that I count, it ends up that there are 10 lines on each side. But if you just cut it in half twice, then fill in the wide areas with one line, I think you're going to do fine. Now here, about a third down, we got halfway, this is about a third. Let's draw a line across that third point, and we're going to have a monitor or some light. He's got a device there. We fit that in above it. Now we cut this area in half from here to here, cut that in half. At this center, this area we've got a square that is got curvy edges. Here we've got a circle and a circle under it. Now the waist is going to angle out. Let's cut it in half. Angle out, angle in. Same thing on the other side. We angle out, touch the line. As soon as you touch the line, start to angle in. Let's cut this area in half. Then quarters. It's in quarters now. We want one long rectangle no further than the halfway point, then a small rectangle under that one. Then on this half, we want one rectangle again. Was that one right? Let me double check this. Okay, let's make a quarter point on this. We want 2 rectangles. Not as big as this one, but 2. And under the halfway line, in fact, flush with the halfway line, we want another rectangle. And under that, we want a sideways, slightly thicker rectangle. Now on the hips, angle up. Again, keep the same halfway line. As soon as you hit that halfway line, turn it the other way. Then angle up. Make that 3-dimensional. Same thing here. Let's make it symmetrical. Touch the top and the bottom here. Make it symmetrical. Angle up. Go down, touch the halfway line. Let's bring this line straight down. We don't want to pass this line, we go back. Go down, we touch that line. Make it 3-dimensional. Last but not least, we've got Megatron's gun to work on. It goes about half a head over his head does. So it is not going sky high, but it's still going up. It's taller than he is, or goes higher than his head does. Let's bring the line down. And at the front, this is the direct front view, so this piece on the gun, I'm not sure exactly what they call it. Not really a gun, big on guns. Not knowledgeable on guns, but here it is. Since it's the front view, there we go. Okay, now things to work on. I think that the waist is in a little too thin. I'm just going to widen it. Now, is this an acceptable version of Megatron? Yeah. I mean, there's been so many versions of Megatron over the years, and different. I've seen Megatron change in the same movie. In Transformers the movie, I've seen subtle little things, like the air vents on his head change around from scene to scene. So I'm just going to erase this line. I mean, that's my. I want to make that my reference point. Transformers the movie, because I think they did a very good job with Megatron. Not the Michael Bay. Well, needless to say, not the Michael Bay. Alright, that's a little more pleasing. His front view is just generally not very interesting, and I'll just kind of outline his head, so get some idea how it's going to fit. I just don't want to spend a lot of time on the head when this is a torso tutorial. I'll tell you what, at the end of everything, I think I will just draw the whole thing and do an actual, just draw Megatron. Clean it up a little bit. Well, now let's see about the side view. Now the dimensions on the side view are going to be identical. I'm just going to do a line over as horizontal or as straight as I can make it, and just draw the side view into this. So we got the head. I'm not going to spend time detailing it and stuff. Let's do kind of typical head outline things. And the chest comes up to here. Make the neck go on. Chest is about 2 heads down for him. This bit is just about 1/4 of a head. Work on the torso, also the same dimensions. Let's make it a little bit wider here. Last time it wasn't quite as wide as we would have liked. And the hip. Now regarding the gun, let's say half a head length from here to here. We got the outside part of the bottom part of the gun on him. No gun terminologies from me apparently. And we bring it up to about half a head above his head, which is going to be this same line, so we just bring it up to that line. If you had like a big A3 paper or something, I would say just draw one Megatron, get your dimensions about right, and just draw the line straight across and let that take care of it. Or get some line paper and just draw Megatron that way. So you get to practice more on the figure and his detail rather than worrying about his proportions all the time. But hey, proportions are good. That's something that's nice to know, nice to be good at. Alright, now from this angle, this front part of the gun is going to be pointing this way. So we're going to change that to be pointing this way. The back of his gun is held on by this bottom part holds it on, and also this wraparound piece of metal is the other thing that holds it on. And thirdly, he's got this thing. I didn't even notice it till I started drawing it. Like it's shaped like a trapezoid with a flat side. Just remind me, I'm gonna have to do the other side to really show all the. You know, I'll get his back view. That'll take care of that.